Hey Rebels, today's guest is a good friend of Rebellion, and he's been with us since the days before we had a name and poured concrete for the brewery. He's an accomplished, award-winning home brewer and one of the smartest dudes I know. He even has a background in programming and coding and a real entrepreneurial streak. But that's not why he's on the show today. His name's Joel Rathgaber. His newest venture is with a Saskatchewan-based company called ORA. They offer a product line of panic alert buttons for personal and commercial clients. ORA synchronizes with your phone and it will call 911 when you activate it. But there's more to it than just a little button that says Grandma fell and she can't get up. They have other services too. When Joel was telling me he was leaving his old job and he was joining up with ORA, I knew I wanted to learn more about this business and figure out why he was a part of it. So I'm really glad I got him on the show to talk about beer and to tell me more about ORA. Joel, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
How's it going?
It's going good.
What is ORA? Let's start at the very beginning.
Sure. So ORA was designed to kind of be the next generation of medical alert device. So like you said, picture the old 90s commercial, I've fallen and I can't get up.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Those systems are just, frankly, they're from probably not even the 90s, they're probably from the 80s. They look like garage door openers. You have to wear this big honking device around your neck or on your wrist. They only work inside your home, and they call some call center who knows where, halfway around the world. So what we decided we were going to develop was a better system that leverages smartphones. So it's a small device, connects to your smartphone, can alert, if you're in a panic situation, you hit the button, it alerts your closest contacts, whoever you want to set up as your contacts, whether that's your next door neighbor or your child or whoever. And if after 2 minutes somebody doesn't get a hold of you, so your contacts don't call you back, then ORA will call 911 on your behalf, and then hopefully get you the help you need.
How did you guys figure out that there was even a niche or a need for this?
So it really comes from our founder, Cerise. She created this device because of her own need. So her mother passed away, and her dad went through a serious health scare kind of shortly thereafter. And he lived in a small town in southern Saskatchewan and was your typical kind of farmer / small town rural folk. He didn't want to move to a city, didn't want to move out of his house, wanted to live independently, live alone. In a town of 300 people with no services, and so she wanted a way that she knew that she could keep track of him and know that he was safe. So she looked all over the internet, looking for something that would do this, and she couldn't find anything. So she decided that she'd create it.
So it was a GPS tracker in the beginning?
So it started off as just being a button. So this is just, you can buy these buttons that kind of sync with your phone, and that's all it was. And she did a couple different prototypes with those buttons and kind of built an app, and it just didn't give her the level of confidence that she needed. So there's some technical issues with, if your app's closed, the button obviously isn't going to work. And things like that. And if you don't interact with your app, on a daily basis, a lot of times your phone will shut it down and you don't even know. So our device actually will do better than that. In that, if you hit the button, the backup 911 call will work even if the app is closed, if it's shut down, even if you've uninstalled the app, the backup 911 call will still go through. So it was that extra level of care or extra level of security that she wanted, that she couldn't find anywhere else on the market.
She invents this button, and then what happens?
Well, so one thing to know about Cerise is that she's not technical. So she comes from a business background, financial background. So she puts together, she finds the right partners, and she puts together this team that's able to design the software, design the hardware, do the product design, the plastics to get it manufactured. And we launched, I think, about 2 years ago now. And so I first met Cerise when I was working at a previous job, and we did some of her branding and did her initial web store for ORA. And so she launched then, and she was going all right. And about a year ago, I noticed she had a job opening for a VP of technology, and so I reached out to her, and she was the only person in the company at that point, only full-time staff, and so I joined on, and now we're up to 6 people as of today. So
All Saskatchewan.
all in Saskatchewan. We're split evenly between Regina and Saskatoon. So there's 3 in Saskatoon, 3 in Regina.
The ORA products looked a little bit different, though. It wasn't just a little simple button. You also had some more cosmetically friendly pieces, right?
That's right. So one of the nice things about ORA when we were looking at the seniors market is we didn't want it to look like the garage door opener that old medical alert devices had. So the first thing you'll notice is a lot smaller. It's basically the size of a toonie, or a little bit bigger than that. But the other thing is it can be disguised under jewelry. So we sell different covers in jewelry that you can wear it like a necklace. And actually our Cerise wears one every day, and a lot of people, you wouldn't know that she was wearing it. She just think she's wearing a necklace. It could be something you'd buy at any kind of jewelry store. But the device is hidden inside of it. So it's definitely way more discreet.
So the thinking is a woman's walking alone at night, maybe after work or something, has an issue, pushes the button.
For sure. The original intent was a medical alert, like we said, so looking at elderly people, but really we found out fairly early on that there's a ton of people that could benefit from it. People with medical conditions, they don't have to be old. They could be. We have one wearer that we know of right from the start that she was really young, younger than I am, and but she had a medical condition that was very serious, and so they got her one. Her parents bought her one to use. But also we started getting contacted from businesses looking to protect their lone workers. So people going into working alone, going into somewhat dangerous situations, or just working alone by themselves, and what happens if they fall and can't reach their phone or something like that. So we started getting more and more interest from different groups when we put the product out there.
Is it because you guys have all those other pieces added to the software or added to the button?
No, I think the ORA solution is very simple, and it's like that for a reason. I mean, when we look at the elderly market and the original intent it was designed, we wanted to be really, really simple and easy to use. We didn't want to add a bunch of features and make it complicated, because in an emergency you just want to hit a button and have things happen. When we started kind of going into the more business market or more commercial market, we started adding a few more features to it. We split the product and added more features to the second product called Soulless Guard to give them some of those other features. And there's features like check-in monitoring, which essentially is you say I'm going to go out for half an hour, and if I don't check in again in half an hour, then something must have happened, and so you should send help.
Like a check-in, as in push the button every 30 minutes?
You push. It's not the button on the device, but it's on your app. So you log into the app and push a button and say, yes, I'm okay. There's also, with Soulless Guard, we're adding a lot more features in the near future, but we're looking at things like fall detection and geofencing. So if you go out a certain boundary,
for like say Alzheimer's or dementia patients,
something like that, or even just if I know I'm working in a certain building, I set my geofence up around that yard or something like that, and if I go out, if perhaps somebody takes me, kidnaps me or something like that, if I go out of that region for whatever reason, it can send an alert. So those geofences can be as small as a building, or they can be as big as Regina. So if I leave the city, then send an alert.
What kind of dangerous jobs could you guys imagine that somebody might need a check-in piece?
Well, there's lots of jobs. What we're seeing actually is in a lot of provinces are introducing legislation that requires employers that have lone workers to have some sort of check-in process. So Alberta and BC are definitely two provinces that we know of that they require some sort of process of checking in with workers that are working alone. So the check-in service kind of fills that gap for them. But anybody could be, it could be, if you're thinking of Alberta, thinking about people on the oil wells, they're out traveling by themselves, checking oil wells in the middle of nowhere. If they don't check in occasionally, well, did they get in a crash? Did they get stuck somewhere? What happened was was there a landowner got into a certain situation that maybe their phone got taken away or something. There's lots of different situations.
What is the kind of cost for this kind of thing? Is
Oh,
it
for sure.
thousands of dollars a year?
No, of course not. With ORA, so we have two different kind of pricing models. With ORA, what we do is a one-time fee, so it's anywhere, depending on the jewelry and stuff, it goes from $250 to $300, and that's the cost for the device. There's no monthly subscription or anything like that, so it's just a one-time fee, and you can order online and get it delivered in a couple days. With Solus Guard, we obviously, because we're selling to businesses, we have different kind of pricing tiers, but generally the device is, you pay a fee for the device. It's a lot cheaper, but there is a monthly charge, depending on the services, anywhere from $5 to $15 per month per user. So,
And it's all right here in Saskatchewan. That's what's going on.
This company's 100% in Saskatchewan.
What's next for you guys?
Solus Guard seems to be our main focus these days, so the business side of things. Like I said, we got tons of features we're looking at. We're rolling out a new project with the federal government, which is huge for us. So that's going to be great. We're going to have kind of coverage nationally. Looking at integrations with different kind of monitoring centers and things like that, and just growing like that. And on the ORA side, we're constantly kind of adding people on that side, and just trying to do the best we can to save lives.
Deadly. This is not at all related to your products.
Yeah.
Let's talk about beer.
Yeah.
You're an accomplished home brewer in your own right.
Yep.
Won a few medals in your day.
I've won a couple.
I think I've got one of you biting one medal, a picture, a couple pictures of you.
Yeah.
So this one today is Rebellion Hazy IPA. Cheers.
Cheers. It's definitely hazy.
Turbidity. I like that word. Have you had it before?
I've had, iterations of it. Not this batch, obviously, but I've had it canned before, I believe.
I think Dave is constantly tweaking it, just trying to hit that sweet spot.
As I think any IPA should be.
Constantly tweaked?
Constantly tweaked. I think, with a good IPA, I think it all depends on the hops you use, and those hops, vary on year to year, batch to batch. So I think any good brewer will constantly be tweaking stuff.
The hazy itself is 6% ABV. I know that Mark and Dave are always really committed to trying to get the freshest, most bold, vibrant hops. And what's special about this is they wanted to make it extra juicy, extra hoppy, and you can really smell it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think its aroma is one of the most intoxicating beers we've ever made in terms of aroma.
I think any IPA I've had from Rebellion it's been like that. It's just a symphony on the nose.
Have you ever made a New England style hazy IPA?
I haven't made a New England style. I've made just American IPAs, but it honestly wasn't my strength as a home brewer, and unfortunately my wife doesn't like IPAs, so I don't make a lot of them at home.
I guess you could convert her eventually.
She has. Well, actually, it's funny. We were in England recently, and she figured out that she likes English IPAs. So I think it's just the tropical kind of citrusy hops that she doesn't really like. I think she likes the more of the old school English style hops.
Oh.
So I might just have to go that direction, I guess. We'll see.
One of the things we've been telling people about this is it's not your classic punch in the mouth. It's super juicy and soft in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little citrusy acid character to it, but not that like bracing West Coast style slam in the mouth.
No, hopefully that kind of fad has passed. How many IBUs can I pack into a beer? It's at a certain point it was fine, and then okay, I'll have half a pint of this and then I'm shot for the night kind of thing is where I got to. So I'd much rather drink an IPA that's full of hop aroma and hop flavor than the bracing bitterness.
I mean, we still have our Zilla, which is pretty bitter.
But it's still not over the top. I find it's still drinkable.
Nicely balanced.
I can have at least a couple of those.
What are you drinking these days?
Well, to be honest, not doing a whole lot of home brewing anymore. I have two young boys, so that parenthood kind of puts a damper a little bit on that. But it's starting to get back into it actually. So recently made a brown ale. So it's actually a clone of Nokomis's brown ale. Another, I'm sure, friend of the show.
Yeah, I love Nokomis's brand.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite, so I tried to clone it as close as I can. Then I just did a gold ale. We had a party, so I needed a keg of beer to serve at the party. So it actually came out super hazy like this, but I didn't mean it for it to. Still tasted good, but yeah.
How do people react to the haziness?
I think they were drinking out of solo cups, so they didn't really care. No, I don't. They didn't seem to mind. It's. I think a lot of the people that know me and know that I'm homebrewing my own beer, they're not looking for crystal clear beer. They've been around me long enough that they know what reasonably good beer is.
Have you found that there's still pushback from people if they have served a hazy beer? Have you heard those pieces?
Not the people I hang out with. Put it that way. Yeah, I think it would for me it would totally depend on the style. If I'm drinking some sort of lager that I would expect to be crystal clear and it wasn't, that would be a bit of a. I'd still drink it, but it'd be a bit of a warning sign. Also, the kind of haze, like there's haze, like nice kind of opaque white haze, like this, and then there's chunks. Chunks are no good.
We had a really funny customer complaint just a few days ago, and the guy said, "I really, really like the flavor of your beer, but it made me gassy and fart a lot, so I'm never drinking it again." I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's a carbonated beverage.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. If you're gonna drink beer with malt in it, it's probably gonna do it.
Have you ever gotten that complaint from people?
Oh, I always laugh at people. Like, there's people that'll swear, I won't drink draft beer because it gives me gas, or I won't, it's like, it's all the same. You don't realize that the stuff that goes into cans and the stuff that goes into keg are literally the same beer.
Well, the funny thing is, when I was coming up, just learning about beer, I used to think draft meant like shitty, cheap nickel beer that you could just fill a cup for a nickel, and you just pound it because it was awful, but you just drink it to get where you're going. And then I was like, oh wait, draft doesn't mean it's crap. It just means that's how it's served.
Yeah.
But I was so used to drinking from like these infected, crappy, poorly maintained draft lines. I
feel like that was a lot of beer in Regina, a few years ago.
But the culture's really changed.
Oh, it's great now. I mean, it's more rare that I go to a place now that doesn't have a craft beer on tap than going to a place that that only serves cheap kind of industrial lager. So,
and I would say it's harder to find a place with infected tap lines too.
It is. I mean, I think the places there are. You steer clear of them.
Just go to the good friends of ours.
And there's usually no reason to go there anyway, so.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but it's rude, so I won't. Where can people find more information about ORA and Solus Guard?
So the website is the best place to go. So on the ORA side of things, that's www.oraforyou. So it's ORAFORYOU.com. On the business side of things, you can go to solusguard.com. So that's SOLUSGUARD.com.
Joel, I want to thank you for your time today.
Thanks for inviting me down. It's amazing.
Rebels, thanks for listening today. I'm going to include links in the show notes so you can find more about ORA and Solus Guard online. I'm also proud to let you know that Rebellion Brewing Podcast is an affiliate member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. If you're into podcasts, you're looking for great content produced right here in our province, local stories, the Sask Podcast Network is a great one-stop shop to discover those local stories to listen to. As always, if you want to find the latest news about Rebellion Brewing, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped. And thank you for joining Rebellion.